Hi, I'm Claire Saffitz. Oh. Wow, I'm Yuna. Welcome to your favorite recipe. I am making Claire Saffitz recipe. I am not Claire Saffitz. I wish. She is oh my gosh, she's so talented in baking. I feel like she has this like magical hands. So whenever she like mixes things, and then once it comes out of the oven, it's just perfection. I hope that she watches this. Claire, I introduced myself as you. I know, I wish. You're my idol, apparently. All right, so she made this Malted Forever brownies, and I am going to make her brownies because, yes, as soon as she posted it, like I subscribed to her channel. If you don't already, go ahead and do so because her channel is called Dessert Person. I'm definitely a dessert person too. So this is the newest video and I'm excited to make it. So we got all our ingredients here. Okay, so oh, well that's nice. Look at this, it's already cut in half. So all I have to do is peel these. Yeah, I already went ahead and boiled my water because we're gonna melt our chocolate. So let's see, it's already steaming nicely. All right, so we're gonna melt these chocolate chips. Her recipe calls for 5-ounce semi-sweet chocolate, preferably 64 to 68% cocoa. And I love my dark chocolate. I like the richness that it gives. So I'm using 72%. So she uses 5 ounce and I've got about 7. So I think I'm gonna leave a sleeve for me to snack on later. So stir this around. And while the chocolate's melting, I'm gonna leave it here for a little bit. So she mentions she couldn't find this metal pan in her video. She always loses it apparently. This is kind of cute, like story of my life. And I was able to find this at Macy's. They're going out of business at the water tower right now. Make sure you use your metal pan. I'm gonna put this right now. All right, let's work on our ingredients. So I got 3 eggs, but we're only gonna use one whole egg here, and then 2 egg yolks. This is my favorite way of just getting the yolk. 2 egg yolks. So we're gonna go ahead and whisk up our eggs. She emphasizes on over whisking it. Well, I shouldn't say over whisking it, but she makes sure that it's all whisked up smoothly. Like there are no white chunks or like yellow chunks left behind. You don't want to like see this gooiness. You want it to come straight off. All right, so our chocolate's looking beautiful too. And our next ingredient, sugar. We've got 1 cup of sugar. I'm using dark brown sugar because it gives like already this dark natural caramel color. Okay, so it looks pretty beautiful. And it'll of course dissolve in the heat. So you're looking for this. Woo! Love it. Her recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of malted milk. Let me smell it. It smells like baby food. I just have faith in her recipe, so I'm gonna go with it. In a 1/4 cup of Dutch processed cocoa. And then of course, whisk this baby. Oh my gosh. It's looking pretty good. So okay, the butter that I almost melted, and it's kind of like, oh, so I have to just peel my butter. Her recipe calls for 6 tablespoons. All right, our chocolate looks amazing, so I'm gonna turn off our heat so that we can add into the mix. So make sure your bowl is not too hot. Yeah, you know what would be smart? take it off the heat. Because our butter is still on the hard side, I'm gonna go ahead and use my heat from the melted chocolate to melt down all my butter. It looks beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna use this at the end to scrape it out. So we're gonna go ahead and just mix in with the rest of our ingredients. And our butter is, as I anticipated, melted beautifully. There are no chunks of butter here. That's what you want. Oh man, I think I can start eating this. Like, do I even need to bake this, Claire? Right? So I do not want to forget my vanilla because I always seem to forget that. All right, so 1.5 teaspoon mix. I just want to like jump in here. It smells so beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and add our oil. 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. That's what I have. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. We got a teaspoon of salt. All right, so get our salt melted. And our final ingredient, flour. So it calls for a 3/4 cup of flour. Just go ahead and add it on. And whiskey business. Oh my gosh. Amazing. This is what you're looking for. So we're gonna blend all of this. All the flour gets mixed in here. Before we add in our last ingredient, the very last ingredient is our milk chocolate chunks. I'm gonna go ahead and actually start buttering the pan. If you use butter, because it has a relatively low heat point, it'll make sure that it crisps up the brownie, and you want that, right? But there's a reason why we have, butter as our ingredient to make sure that it is all crispy around the corner. All right, so, but if you use oil, it'll actually like get absorbed into the brownie, and it'll like create this cakey texture, which if you're into that, no problem, but I am not into that. We're gonna add our milk chocolate chunks in there too. Her recipe calls for 6-ounce milk chocolate coarsely chopped. This size should be fine. You don't want it to be too finely chopped because you want to be able to see chunks in between brownie bites. So go ahead and add that in. So mix in. Oh man, isn't it so satisfying? Yeah, I love this. So you probably have noticed that I'm not using any baking powder or baking soda because they will create this like cakey texture, and it'll actually lift up the brownies. So, and you don't want that. You want to be able to taste the fudginess, like the chewiness. That's my favorite. Crispy and fudgy. All right, so it goes in just like this. I feel like I hear my heart just getting clogged up in a good way. Like I'm not gonna be able to breathe. So add it all in nicely. Now once we have that in, we're gonna go ahead and just thinly spread that out. Make sure all the corners get even portion. So just like this. And are we looking pretty even? So to really ensure the evenness, I'm gonna go ahead and spread it across. What do you think? Looks pretty good. All right, time to go into our oven. Middle rack, 350 for 20 minutes. Our timer, I'm gonna actually check at 15 minutes because the newer the oven, the better it works. So I got my brownie out of the oven and I actually chilled it for about 30 minutes in the fridge to really make sure that the butter comes down from the heat and it's easier to cut. And it really makes sure the texture of chewiness and crispiness on the out. So we're gonna dig in. It might not want to come out right away. And to do that is to not use your knife, because who wants to ruin their pan? So I don't know if it'll come out. Okay, that's a good sign right there. And what I'll do is just flip that over. So I'm topping it off with flaky salt. Just any salt that's bigger than your table salt is what I would recommend. So it was a little bit difficult for me to like push it down, but you can see like chewiness on the side of the knife. You're like, ah, don't do that, Yuna. But yeah, this is what you're looking for. This like ensures chewiness. It's so perfect. So this is it. Yes, we did not waste any of the butter. The whole stick went in here. And just beautiful. Like, oh my God, look at this. Oh yeah, this is what I was gonna show you. So you're gonna be able to see the milk chocolate pieces in between. And it worked. Look at this, it's like gourmet. I keep telling you to look at it because I'm amazed at how it turned out. Find me on Instagram because I want to know that you've also made this and yours looks just as beautiful as mine and hers, Claire's. So you can find me on Instagram at Yuna Cooks, and I'll see you at your next favorite recipe.